Just thought I'd do a quick intro because this video just jumped straight in with me missing half the front of a car. Katie came back one day to say that there was a horrible rattly noise when she was driving down the A19, and suddenly there's a lot of rattling and it stopped, and I didn't know what that meant. Went and had a look and decided that I think something must have got caught in the fan. It's jammed it, it's basically overheated the fan, knackered that. I was then very worried that it might have caused another overheating and head gasket issue, which is why I'm probably fairly stressed in a lot of this video. And so what I want to do now is just jump straight into the middle of a car with no front end. This kind of escalated. I've skipped a lot. It's going to be pretty clear when we come down. The fan seized. It's come off. I'll show you in a minute. I basically can't find an original piece. I've put an aftermarket one in, but it fits pretty nicely in the original casing. So step one is that it looks like it's overheated or something here. Step two, got a new bumper to go on, which is why I've just taken the tyre bumper off. But obviously before I do that, I want to get all of this cleaned up first, get a bit of something crust and that, and then paint it over, because we need to get down to solid stuff on there. It's solid, it's just all the old paint stuff slipping off, which is what you'd expect after, what are we up to now? 27 years. Secondly, whilst these mounts have come off and the bolts are good there, around the side it looks nice, it's fine, but I've had to cut it out. I had to drill through from the back, and there's the cut that sits in. So there, that one, those need sorting. I'll have to make some bolts to fit into there. As you can see, I haven't videoed the full process of taking everything apart. I might be a bit more helpful putting it back together, but to be honest, with these ones you just need to figure out exactly what comes off, which is any bolts there, and do it methodically. I mean, don't just dive in trying to snap things, because everything bolts, so it's pretty obvious really. And if some of those bolts are rusted and old, it's going to cause issues. So give it a go. Right, sorry about the noise. The first thing we've got here is the extension needed. Now the fan, basically, this cover isn't attached on at the minute. I've taken the fan out of the casing it came with. I've just screwed it through the plastic so that it's nice and tight in there, not going anywhere. There's more blades, but there is a bit of a gap here, so it's not quite as neat pulling through, but it's still going to pull through. You can see how much of the radiator really is blocked by plastic on these. So you can see why the double fan is quite nice on the faster ones and stuff. But for now, we've got the cable here. What I've done is I've quickly tested to make sure that it's going to pull the air through. So I've just found a very low voltage thing here, which looks like something else, but it is actually a shaver plug. Just tested that the blue is going to be the right way around, positive, to pull the air through rather than pushing it away. So I'm happy with that. Next step is to take a section of the old wire here, and we're just going to crimp and solder that together, blue to blue. Right, obviously that's the engine running nice and noisy. The new fan is on the front, and everything is bolted back together pretty much, with a lot of extra grey, which is the hammerite rust stuff. Okay, the radiator is not warm yet. I really hope it's okay. The fuse for the fan, because that had gone, is in this little capsule here, which apparently I can't open with one hand. I did it the wrong way. And according to the manual, it's that 30 amp fuse there, just to check that. So I'm just leaving it and hoping that it's going to get the temperature. The water is coming out of here, so I'm assuming that the water pump is still working fine, everything else. And I'm just going to have to wait it out and just start putting bits back together in the meantime. The car is still running, the radio is getting hot, and we have the old bumper here, which especially on this side you can see looking left wear, and the new pattern part one here. So I noticed first of all it hasn't got the holes for these little plastic clips here. Now these what hold in the metal rail, that I've taken off here to get, you have to get to the screw holes there anyway. 2 of the screws are completely rusted through that to drill out, so the 2 in the middle, they're going to be fine. The 2 on the ends, I'm going to have to fashion something for the time being. At some point probably get around to changing that. Now this is really easy. The lower bit is just held on by the screw in the middle, and then a couple of clips here. I think there should be a screw there, but never mind. And then the bolts at the end as well. So I'll put some penetrator fluid on that, but I'm not swapping that back onto the new bumper. My brother sourced me and painted a GTI style lower valance. Obviously the back needs going, and possibly due to colour changes it may not be quite a perfect colour match, but it's going on, because right now I want to get this car back together and check that I haven't got another head gasket issue. And I'm paranoid, but so far every time it's gone wrong. Radiator is getting super hot. Yep, still touch it. Fan hasn't come on yet, that's always good. At some point I'm going to have to check to see if I'm getting air back into the cooling system or not. But for now, taking those bits of bumper apart and putting the new ones back together. Yep, I'm still waiting for the fan to come on. As you can see, the pattern part not quite as curved in. However, another spare bumper that I've got, but it is screwed. Where it needs to connect is just a large hole, so that is no good to anyone. You can see that's what it should look like, and that's what it does look like. So I'm going to have to go with the pattern part and just persuade it round, and once it's bolted in, it'll be okay. I'm just going to have to look for some new bolts, because the ones on the old one are very much not wanting to come off. I mean, they're solid on there. It's not the end of the world. I just need some new bolts. We've got something like a car back together with a new front bumper. I am knackered. I've had to replace all sorts of bits. The 2 bolts in the front are still correct. The 2 on the side I've had to make use of some other plates I've drilled through and bolted through from there. So everything is correct, it's just taken ages. Also, the brackets were odd. The bracket that mounts this side of the bumper was loose. I put another bolt further back and it's held it up. Unfortunately, I can't quite get the same height. It's not bad, but it's not quite as high on this side. Also, the bumper is a funny shape. It's a pattern part. We're going to see what we can do about that. Large gap here because I'm missing a grill piece to go in. But again, for now, I'm afraid that's that. The fan did come on. I've got a really bad feeling about the head gasket again. But at least I've got a car back together. I can drive it around, see if it improves. Otherwise, it's going back again. And oh god, it isn't inexpensive to run cars like this, but I have no money. So every time something like this happens, I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna have to sell it. So once again, yeah, let's see how it goes. Some yellow. Which looks really bright there, but actually once it is peeled off the backing layer, it comes out quite nice. So all I've done is shape it around the edges, cut a square cut into each corner so that you can lap it over nicely, and then just use a hairdryer to heat the glass first so it's not too cold, and then just heat the whole thing to shape it on. Again, there's probably better videos for this, but it's just to give you an explanation of how I've quickly turned them in from the clear standard to the more traditional yellow. Right, here we are for the day. Got some yellow fogs on, which are a bit crazy. I did film a lot of stuff, but basically the film's on there. I had to drill an extra hole through the middle to make them fit properly, but I'm quite happy with that. They come out a bit far, but they're a bit rally. The grill is in. I did get this from my brother. It just sort of fits there. It had a back piece I've taken out because the standard grill didn't have one, and I'm just very concerned about the cooling on this car. It doesn't seem to be overheating. There's nothing wrong with the head gasket at the minute, but I just don't want to take chances. Anyway, also there will be a standard number plate on here. This is my emergency number plate, but I will be putting the standard one back on here, so it will be looking back to normal. Obviously it seems to be reversed when I use this camera, so you just have to forgive me for that. That is everything back together. It wasn't like a full how-to. If you have questions, just let me know. I just watched that back. That is a pretty low energy video. Yeah, it'd been a long day of doing other stuff as well, and then getting on with the car had been tiring. Um, so yeah, it obviously can be expensive. It's not like YouTube fun where people just buy cars and have lots of money to throw at them and stuff. Obviously, if you've got your own project car, you're well aware of how this is. That balance of trying to spend money and not just buy stuff you don't need when you've got massive other jobs to do. So at some point the suspension will need doing. I can get to that. What was I going to tell you as well? So I think it's about 4.5-5 mil drill bit to get the plugs back in for the metal trim. I had to trim that metal trim down because actually the pattern part bumper is slightly smaller. The lights are from Agri Parts. If you look through, you can find like GTI specific lights that aren't the original ones. However, a lot of them are cheap plastic ones, and a lot of them don't actually come with the backing boxes. You just get the front plate and the plastic cover for the light, as well as the internal bit, but not the actual back bit. So you're sat with a light that you can't actually fix to anything. So be careful when you're buying those ones. I just went completely different, got a proper glass one. And that's about it really. Just be careful with the parts you're buying. I also wanted to say that the bumper and stuff was a present from my brother, so that was pretty cost free. You will be seeing the back one shortly, which is also because he gave me the leftover paint. I've just had to buy some more lacquer. But both of those jobs are important, not because of the styling. Obviously I had to buy the lights because then it just looked a bit boy racery without the lights in, a bit kit carish. So they needed to just complete that finish, but that was 20 quid, so I'm not complaining about that. But mostly it also means I got to do a lot of undersealing and rust proofing, which of a car that age you really got to do anyway. It doesn't sound like a fun job, but it needs doing. So hopefully you can understand why what seems like a silly kind of job for just a bit of making it look nicer is actually quite important as well, because it means I've got a chance to take the car apart, do some proper undersealing. And the same with the suspension. Actually, when you get to that job, you'll be spending probably as much time making sure everything's clean and undersealed as well. So it's a good chance to do those kind of things, and it's regular maintenance that a car like that needs.